So hello again. Hopefully you can see me okay. I'm gonna do a few adjustments and know that I'm gonna adjust as needed throughout. So my name's Tashana Johnson. As I mentioned, I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a part of the Whole You's team. Outside of the Whole You, I also teach trauma-informed yoga. I use she, her pronouns. I don't know if I said that already. My approach to teaching is really to use today's body, right, and today's mind. What that means is being able to meet ourselves where we are physically and mentally today, not comparing where we are to yesterday's body, yesterday's needs, or last week's body, last week's needs, last year, last decades. Or in my case, I was a gymnast at 12 years old, so I have to check myself and say, that's not who I am anymore. A couple of things about the space that I'm in today. I'm here at home, 2 cats, 1 dog, and they may show up through the class, particularly to destroy my yoga mat. I think it's really important to name what's going on in our space, name what's going on for us, and allow ourselves to show up. Right? So we can hold space and kind of model for other folks to show up only to what makes them feel good. So a trauma-sensitive approach, and I'm going to keep talking. I see that there's folks in the room. I'm going to admit them. Don't mind me. A trauma-sensitive approach, what that means is holding space, creating space for folks to show up, to pay attention to any signs of distress, right? Or dissociation that might be happening. So feeling out of body, that's a sign of dissociation. It's encouraging folks to pause or step back or do whatever's needed for them, right? So really encouraging you all to note what you need here. If you're hungry, please eat, please step away and go eat, right? I've taken a virtual yoga class or virtual movement classes where in the middle, I turned my camera off and I was like, I need to go eat. Stepped away, grabbed some food, came back, and then rejoined class. And rejoining just looked like me eating off camera and then being in child's pose, right? Paying attention to any physical cues. So, if you need water or you need to take a bio break, please do so, right? We'll be here as you are when you're ready to rejoin us. But mostly listening to any signals that come up for your body, right? When you need to pause, if you want to go more, if you want to do more, if you want to do less. You know your body and you know your space more than I do. Maybe you're still learning what that means, and that's okay too. Again, I wanted to acknowledge my space. I've got my 3 fur babies. They will challenge my attention. I also navigate life with anxiety and depression. So sometimes that shows up. It might look like me speaking quickly. It might look like, my brain kind of stuttering as I'm speaking and I just need to take a pause. That's just a little bit about how I know that I'll enter into space today. Okay, Ravi, that's ravioli. I'm really trying to befriend my brain, like today's brain, current brain, right? And know that it thinks and processes information differently than it used to. So with that in mind, I extend that same invitation to you all. Allow for your body and your mind to show up fully today or however they can. It's okay either way. So let's get started, and I'll invite you to sit in a comfortable seat or comfortable position. As you're there, I'm going to admit folks into the room. Once you find that comfortable position, and whatever that looks like, give yourself some movement or give yourself some time, right, to make that position work for you. So you don't have to come in and be still and be quiet right away. It's okay to sway gently from side to side. Or maybe take your spine forward and back. It's okay to shrug your shoulders. Give yourself any big shoulder rolls or just like sways. Anything funky, anything silly. And then allow yourself to pause when you're ready. As I go through class, I'll probably spend some time facing you all. I might also turn my body, shifting away. This is the first time that I'm teaching a virtual yoga class, so I know full well that I'm going to stumble as I go. So hopefully we can hold that space. All right, once you find your self in stillness, allow for the top of the head to start reaching up towards the ceiling or whatever's above you. Maybe take a deep breath in and pull those shoulders up towards your ears. As you exhale, pull the shoulder blades back like you're trying to pinch something between them, and then slowly lower. Give yourself a few more of those, just paying attention to your breath and how your body's doing. Maybe inhale, pull the shoulders up. Exhale, pull the shoulder blades back like something is being held between them, and then start to lower. You're also welcome to drop your gaze, maybe look towards your toes or look towards the ground. Or if it feels comfortable and safe, you can close your eyes as well. Give yourself a few more of those inhales, pulling shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders back and shoulders down. Reminding yourself it's okay to go faster, it's okay to go slower. Maybe take one more inhale, shoulders up. And then exhale, shoulders back and down. So allow for that spine to kind of reset. Head reaches up. Eyelids can flutter open. And let's get our shoulders a little open here. We're going to inhale, reach your arms out towards the sides and then reach them up overhead. Knowing that if you have any tension, if you have any injuries, if you're recovering from something, maybe your arms aren't reaching straight up, right? Maybe they're a little bit more out. That's okay, right? My shoulders are super tense, so I'm going to be here today. Inhale, reach those fingertips up. Exhale, cactus the arms. That means bend the elbows out towards the sides, pull the elbows down, and pull your shoulder blades back. Inhale, reach those arms up overhead, whatever overhead means for you today. Exhale, bend those elbows out towards the sides, keep the palms forward and slide the elbows down towards your sides. Good, last time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus the arms, bend them out towards the sides, drop the shoulders, maybe even look up towards the ceiling. And then reach those hands forward towards the ground as you exhale next time. Allow yourself to tuck your chin towards your chest and let the fingertips just reach down in front of you. It doesn't matter how far you get. If you'd like, you can add in some gentle movement, maybe sway the body from side to side. Saying hello to the hips. Getting some of the compression off the low back, low spine. Good, and then find yourself pausing all together. Just reach those fingertips forward. Tucking chin towards the chest. Lean your body towards the right side. Pretend like you're trying to touch your right shoulder or your right tricep towards the right knee. You can also lean your right ear over towards that side. Take your left hand, place it onto the knee or onto the leg, the left leg or knee, and push that away from you or push it towards the ground. It's a really subtle stretch you might notice on your hips, inner and outer. If you're not noticing it, that's okay as well, right? So trauma sensitive classes and trauma informed classes means we can't always assume that we are able to connect to our bodies, right? We can't always know or assume that we know sensations. We might be blocked. Excuse me. All right, we're going to take that left hand and we're going to reach it forward towards the computer, towards me, towards whatever works for you. And then we're going to open that left arm out towards the left side. Reach the fingertips away from you, drop the shoulder away from the ear. And then exhale, bring that hand forward towards that right hand. Inhale, open it out towards the side. Let the fingertips reach behind you. Drop the shoulder. And exhale, bring the hand forward. One more time. Inhale, reach the arm out towards the side. Drop the shoulder. Fingertips reach away from you. Maybe look over towards those fingertips. If that feels okay on your neck. If not, drop your chin down towards your chest or keep leaning the head over towards that right side. Notice how you're breathing here. Notice how your shoulders feel, how your neck is doing. If you'd like one more invitation, that left hand that's out in space, you can gently rotate it. Turn the palm forward and down, thumb forward and down, and then rotate it in the opposite direction, up and back. Give yourself a couple more breaths. If or when you're ready, go ahead and reach that hand back down towards the ground. Maybe give yourself a few more of those sways from side to side, or let your head hang, doing some gentle half circles. And then let's take it to the other side. We're going to lean over as if we're trying to touch our left tricep or elbow to that knee. Left hand stays forward. Left ear can also lean over towards that shoulder. And we'll take the right hand, bend that elbow, and place that hand into the thigh or towards the knee, and gently push down or push away. Breathing here, trying to move those shoulders away from our ears. What does that mean? If you're hiking them up, trying to pull the shoulder blades back behind you and pull them down towards your hips. Relax your shoulders down. From here, we'll take that right hand off the knee, reach it forward. And then we're going to open up. Inhale, reach the right hand out towards the right side, lean the body towards the left. Exhale, bring that hand forward, almost as if it was going to stack on top of the other hand. If it doesn't stack, it can be next door. Inhale, open the body up. Let that right arm reach out towards the side as you lean the body towards the left. Exhale, let that hand come back down. Good. One more time on your own. Inhale, reach that arm out towards the side. This time you're welcome to have that arm continue to stay there. Keep leaning the body towards that left side, left leg. And then notice what feels good for your neck. Do you want to turn and look towards that palm? Do you want to look down, chin towards the chest? Or does it feel good to let the head lean over towards the opposite shoulder? Do you want to draw some half circles, letting the head lean and gently holding it, moving it side to side? And then one more invitation here if you'd like to take it. You can keep that arm reaching back behind you or out towards the side, thumb up. If you want to add on a little bit of movement there, a little bit of opening the shoulder, you can turn the palm forward and down, and then turn the palm forward and back, as if you're trying to draw a circle with your thumb in either direction. All right, once you're all set there, go ahead and let that hand come on down towards the ground. And then walk those hands back towards your shins, sitting back up nice and slowly, nice and tall. Tall-ish is also a thing. Allow your body to kind of shrug it off, shrug shoulders. Maybe take inventory, noticing if something feels different. It's also okay if we don't notice that. We're going to let these legs go in front of us. So place the feet down in front of you. Knees can be wide, wider than hip distance apart. And hands can be by your spine or behind you. Right, you're going to lean your weight towards your hands and gently allow for your knees to gently turn from side to side. Swaying from the left, swaying towards the right. You want to move through mud here. You want to move through traffic. Right? Sorry if you just came from being in traffic. Didn't mean to remind you of that. But move intentionally with your body. allowing for the low hips as well as the low spine to get some recovery. And then go ahead and let those legs lean over towards the left side. You can hang out right here, or you can take your right hand to the outside of that right knee and gently push it down. Not too far, not too fast. Allow for your body to guide you here, right? It's not so much what our mind thinks we should do. Go faster, go harder, be more flexible, etc. It's meet our bodies where it's at. What sensations is it sending you? Once you're all set with that, take that right hand back down behind your hips, and you can allow for those knees to gently carry over towards the opposite direction. I'm really going to try to get my rights left and my lefts rights. I might stumble as we go. We're going to take that left hand this time and place it to the outside of the knee or leg, just an option if you'd like it. And you can gently push that knee away from you or towards the ground. If you're like me and your shoulders start hiking up naturally, that's okay. And let's try to encourage them to drop back down, right? They're not needed right now. Give yourself one more breath here, or wherever you are. And then go ahead and release that stretch. One more thing before we move to tabletop. Allow for the bottom of your feet to come towards each other and let the knees open out towards the sides, towards wide. We're going to give our body some space here and really take up space. So maybe it's been a second since you've had a foot massage or you've had any stimulation there. I encourage you, if you'd like, to just kind of press those fingertips into the inside of the foot or into the ball or the heel. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you or you want to skip it, no worries. Just keep leaning the body forward, tucking the chin towards the chest, and maybe pushing those elbows into the legs, pushing the legs out towards the sides. Give yourself a few more breaths here. I'm going to admit someone into the room. Mentally note to have some support next time, to ask for some support next time. All good. Right, give yourself a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, we're going to move from this place into tabletop. Tabletop is coming onto all fours, letting the hands be under the shoulders, knees under the hips. There's no easy way to get there. There's no graceful way. At least maybe there is, but not for me and my body today, right? So it's okay to take your time making your way to tabletop in the ways that work for you. Let those hands come underneath the shoulders. Let the knees be underneath the hips, and the top of the feet can come down, pointing away from you. As you're here in your table, maybe you want to give yourself some gentle sways, letting the body lean from side to side, palm to palm. Or maybe you want to lean the body forward and back. Right? Maybe you want to do some movement that I haven't mentioned just yet. Each of our bodies just differ from each other's naturally, and they differ from themselves day to day, right? They're changing all the time. So what we need also changes. When you're ready, come on to stillness. If being here on your knees is challenging, or if you want some extra cushion underneath your knee, you can kind of roll your mat onto itself or place a pillow or blanket underneath, give you some support. If your hands or your wrist are feeling tender, you can take blocks and place them under your palms instead. That'll ease some of the pressure off the wrist. Once you come back to that still space into your neutral tabletop, let's give ourselves a few cat-cows. Inhaling, arching the spine, taking the head up, taking the hips up, pulling the shoulders away. Exhale, drop the chin down towards the chest. Look towards your belly, look towards your thighs. For anywhere you can see, tucking the chin. A couple of more times. Inhale, arch the spine, let the head and the hips reach up. Pull the shoulders away from you. Exhale, draw the chin towards the chest. Look towards your belly or look towards your thighs. Last time, inhale, arch. And exhale, tuck. We'll come back to that neutral spine. Give yourself any shifting that you need. And we're going to take the right leg, right foot, and we're going to step it out towards the side, towards the right side. Those toes are going to point forward. If this feels really extreme on your hip, then go ahead and bend that knee instead. And let the knee point away from you, let the toes point away from you. In fact, we can all start there. So whether your leg is extended or your knee is pointing out towards the side, give yourself some gentle sways, leaning into that leg and then back to neutral. If the knee is bent, really push that bent knee to point away from you towards the toes and sway back. Trying to keep the chin towards the chest, give that neck some room to breathe. Good, and then come back to stillness. If your knee is bent like mine, you're gonna go ahead and extend that leg out towards the side instead. Those toes are pointing forward, maybe roll yourself forward and back. Now I haven't cued us to breathe for a while, so if you're finding yourself holding your breath, trying to just come back to it. Whether it shows up, it's short and staggered, or they're long and deep breaths, doesn't necessarily matter. I just want to make sure that you are breathing. You're going to keep that left hand down towards the ground. Reach that right hand forward. We're going to slowly rotate that hand so the thumb is down, palm is away from you, and then lift it up overhead. Breathe into the side of your neck, breathe into the palm that's pushing onto the ground. You can keep your gaze out towards the side, or you can look down towards the ground. One more option is to take the hand, instead of reaching it up, reach it back behind you. Only if that feels good for your shoulder, or if it doesn't feel bad. Right? If it feels safe, let's do it. If it feels unsafe, let's avoid it. Let's challenge ourselves to meet our bodies where they are today in this moment. Good, let that right arm come back slowly back down towards the ground. We're gonna bend that right knee, pull it in towards the left knee. We're gonna take ourselves into child's pose just for a moment here. In child's pose, your knees can be together. Your knees can also be out, extended. Maybe your toes are towards each other. When you're ready, let your hips reach back towards your heels. Let your arms, maybe they reach forward or maybe they reach out to the side. I know my hips are feeling really tight, so I'm not gonna be able to take a particular child's pose today. This is my child's pose. All right, looks different every day. Remind yourself you can come back to this pose or any other one that feels good and supportive for you at any point during this class, during other classes. When you're ready, come on back to tabletop, encouraging yourself to stay in child's pose a little bit longer if you'd like, or meet us in that table. All right, palms push into the mat. This time we're going to take our left leg and go ahead and extend it out towards the left side, toes up, toes forward. You can check in here, and if this feels too extreme, then bend that knee instead. Point the knee and point the toe away from you. Whether your leg is bent or your leg is extended, give yourself some gentle movement. You don't need to be prescriptive with it. It doesn't have to be what it was on the other side. Maybe you sway forward and back. Maybe you give yourself some gentle circles. Or maybe you stay still. Wherever you are, see if you can find your breath. Okay. It comes and goes naturally, right? Just as our minds will come and go into this space, just as our bodies will come and go. Let's see if we can allow that grace for them to do just so. From here, if you'd like, if your knee is bent, go ahead and let that leg extend. Once more, toes point forward. Maybe shift the weight forward and back. And then find ourselves in stillness, letting the right hand this time stay on the ground. Right arm is strong. Left arm reaches forward, fingertips away from us. You're welcome to stay here, or you can turn that palm so the thumb is down. Nice and slowly reach that arm up overhead. Noting how your shoulder's doing, how your neck is doing. If you want one more option, you can let that arm instead reach behind you. And then check in with what the neck wants. Does it want to look down? Does it want to look out to the side? Or do you want to just kind of have it hang in space? Go ahead, give yourself 2 more breaths here, wherever you chose. Slowly allow for that hand to come on back down towards the ground. Bend that left knee, if it wasn't already in, pull it in towards the right. We're going to shift ourselves from this tabletop. There it goes. Into down dog instead. Down dog is an upside down V shape. To get there from tabletop, we might consider sliding our palms forward and then tucking our toes. On your next exhale, pushing palms and toes into the mat, lift the hips away from the mat towards the ceiling. As you're here, it's okay if your heels are off the ground, right? Sometimes our heels can make it to the ground. Sometimes they get stuck. Sometimes they just don't. They don't feel like it. If it's your first down dog today or your first down dog in a while or ever, try to find that thing that works for you. Maybe that is turning your head from side to side. Maybe it's letting your head say yes, as if you want something, you want more, tucking the chin towards the chest, letting the head reach. Maybe it's coming up onto the toes, lifting the heels really high and then kind of letting them come back down. Maybe doing that a few more times. You can also bend those knees. Maybe bend one knee at a time. Pause and then bend the other and straighten. All right, give yourself whatever it feels okay here. Knowing that okay is just enough. Take one more inhale. Start to lift those heels even higher. Go ahead and bend those knees. Look forward towards the hands. And as you exhale, maybe drag or step those feet forward. Bring them towards your hands, not touching. Come into a forward fold. Let your chin continue to tuck in towards your chest. Maybe your knees bend slightly. Exhale all your air. And then unroll that spine nice and slow. Let the head and shoulders make their way up last as you inhale, coming back to standing. Taking your time to get there. Eyes can be open, eyes can be closed. I mentioned on the front end, first virtual yoga class. So I'm going to be moving around quite a bit, trying to figure out how to do this thing. Thank you for being here with me. Let those feet be about hip distance apart. And let's reach those arms up overhead. Inhale. As you exhale, just as we did to start, you're going to turn the palms forward, bend the elbows and cactus the arms, pull the elbows out towards the sides. Good. Inhale, reach those arms up, look up, stand up. And exhale, bend, cactus the arms, pull the elbows down. Last time, inhale, reach up, look up, stand up. And then cactus those elbows out towards the side. You're going to hold the arms there, drop your shoulders, and start to bend those knees, not too deeply. Right, for some of us that may have been doing yoga for a while, we might want to go to like our deepest chair pose or deepest squat. That's okay, but I want to invite us to kind of go lightly instead, right? Maybe it's just a soft bend. You're going to pull those elbows towards each other, tuck your chin towards your chest, kind of curl your upper spine in a little ball. And then let yourself come back out wide. Let the elbows reach out towards the side, upper body comes up. 2 more times, elbows towards each other, curl yourself into a ball. And then let those elbows come out towards the side, stand the upper body up. If you're like, I've got to bend, I've got to squat, sure. Bend your knees a little bit more if you'd like. And last time, we'll pull the elbows towards each other, tuck your chin towards your chest. And then let the elbows out towards the sides. Start to straighten those legs, reach those fingertips down towards the ground. Towards not touching is okay. Tucking chin towards the chest, give yourself a forward fold. Encourage any movement, any gentle swaying from side to side, that feels nice. Encourage yourself to find that pause where you can, where you want or need to. We'll come back to stillness and let's come halfway up. Let the top of the head reach forward, the hips reach back, and you can have your hands on your shin, maybe hands on blocks or fingertips reaching down. Feel that length in the spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Let's unroll that spine. Inhale, nice and slow. Let the head and shoulders make their way up last. Once you get there, you can straighten those legs. Let those fingertips reach down, arms down. We'll inhale, reach those arms out to the sides, reach them up. This time, as you exhale, reach the arms forward and bend the knees, come into chair pose. It's okay if your chair isn't that deep, right? You can come into a stool, that's okay. Come into bending those knees, let the hips reach back, but tuck the booties in. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, just to reduce any tension there. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, you're gonna let the arms come down towards the ground and then reach them back behind you, airplane arms. Inhale, let the arms come down towards the ground, reach them forward, back to chair or stool. Exhale, arms reach down towards the ground, back behind you, airplane. 2 more, inhale, arms down, arms forward, back to chair. Beautiful, last time. Exhale, arms reach down, arms back. Inhale, arms down, arms forward, back to chair. Stand that body up, look up, straighten up, get weird, shake it out, right? And then bring ourselves to forward fold. Exhale, hands down towards the ground, towards not touching is okay. Come halfway up, let the head reach forward, let the hips reach back. As you get some length in the spine. Good, and then exhale, forward fold. We're gonna bend the knees here in this forward fold. A little or a lot. If you have blocks or you want something under your hands, please put them there. And we're gonna take that right leg and just extend it back behind us. Coming into a lunge. We start off high. And then when you're ready, bend that right knee. Let the knee come down. Let the top of the foot come down as well. Point the toes away. I'm going to turn towards you to show you an option. You can stay here in this low lunge. Or if body needs a little bit more space, or if you feel off balance, you take the right foot and you kind of inch it over towards the right side. Give yourself a wider base, gives you more stability. As you're in this lunge, feel free to give yourself any movement, maybe gently pulling ourselves forward and back. Or letting the head just do some gentle circles. Good. When you're ready, come to stillness. Again, that reminder to take a break when you need it. Right? Go grab a meal if you need to. Grab some water, grab some food, whatever you need. On your next breath in, let's go ahead and walk those hands up the leg, up the right shin, and then maybe come to the knee itself or come to the thigh. So here's where you can play around with that balance check. If your legs are too close together and you want more space, more stability, take that foot out towards the side. All right. So we're going to add in one strength piece here, and then we're going to take ourselves into a hip stretch. At least that's what I think we're going to do. Let's inhale, reach those arms out to the sides and reach them up. As you exhale, you're going to let the top of the head and the fingertips reach forward. Top of the head reaching towards the front of the mat, fingertips reaching towards the front of the mat or beyond. Then we're going to pick ourselves up, back up, use your core. Yes, you have one. Exhale, push the foot into the mat, lift the upper body up. 2 more times. Take a breath in, reach those fingertips away. Exhale, top of the head and the fingertips come forward. On the next inhale, push that foot into the mat, use your core, pick yourself up. Oh, shaking is okay. I promise we're all shaking. All right, last one, inhale, fingertips up. Exhale, use the fingertips, use the top of the head to lean the body forward. Push that foot into the mat, activate the leg, and start to lift yourself up using your core. Let those hands come out towards the side. Drop the shoulders away from you. Let the fingertips really reach and expand. And then when you're ready, pull those palms towards each other. And we're going to place them down on the ground. Take our time to get there. We're going to place them on the inside of that right leg, right foot. So let those hands come down to the ground, to the right of the right foot. Now, maybe your fingertips are pointing forward. Maybe you turn your palms a quarter turn towards the side. It's all up to you. If you feel a little scrunchy here, you can take this right knee, right foot, just kind of walk that foot out towards the side, coming into more of a traditional lizard lunge. If this feels pretty intense, then let's not have our palms totally on the mat. Let's come up onto the fingertips or even use blocks underneath the hands, right? Wherever you are, I encourage movement in between those movements. So maybe sway from side to side, move the weight towards one hand and the other. Tuck the chin towards the chest and just try to notice what's going on for you today. What's going on for your hips today. You can find some stillness. And I'll guide you through this next place. It's just an invitation. It's all an option, right? If you want a little bit more stretch on your hip, then instead of having your right knee pointing up towards the ceiling and that foot on the ground, you can start to point that right knee away from you towards the right. Maybe the inside of the foot comes off the mat. Ooh, my hips, my hips need some attention, right? Isn't that just what tension is? A beg, a request for attention. Try to breathe with yourself for 3 more breaths. If the inside of your foot is off the ground, then go ahead and let it come back down. Nice and slowly walk that foot back to neutral. And maybe walk those hands over so you're framing the foot. You're coming back to that low lunge. Now here's an option. We can go to a place to pause. Maybe you slide your foot back and you go to down dog. Maybe you go to child's pose. Maybe you watch me to guide you. That's okay as well. My legs are not graceful, so I'm gonna literally drag myself back to tabletop to start. Knee on the ground, and then let my hips reach back towards the heels, child's pose. Another option instead of child's pose is to come back to down dog, that upside down V shape. Letting the heels reach down. It's okay if they don't touch. Another option is just to grab some water, just to be in a space that feels comfortable for the next few breaths. Wherever you are, every inhale, allowing for the belly to expand, allowing for more oxygen to come into the body. Right, every exhale, allowing for yourself to sink down, to feel grounded, or to attempt to. Give yourself 2 more breaths wherever you are. It's okay if they're short and shaky. It's okay if they're long and deep. If you're in child's pose, coming back to tabletop. And then taking your time, we're going to come back to down dog. Push the palms into the mat, tuck the toes. And when you're ready, push let the hips reach up. Coming high. Again, heels can reach towards the ground. It's okay if they don't touch. It's okay if they do. Come up onto your toes, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look at your hands, and then drag or step those feet forward. Come to a forward fold. Again, allow for any movement that feels nice, feels supportive. Maybe it's swaying from side to side or turning the head. And then when you're ready, come back to stillness. Maybe bend the knees slowly, softly. Inhale and slowly rise up, letting the head and the shoulders make their way up last. Finding your way to mountain pose. Mountain pose, just standing up, essentially, letting those fingertips reach down towards the side of you, top of the head reach up. You can give yourself a moment here. Maybe your eyes are open, or maybe you lower them looking towards the mat. You can also close them if that feels okay. Give yourself some moments to find your breath, to find your body in space. Just kind of acknowledge where you are, what you're able to do, what you're doing. Send some grace to the things that have changed. All right, we're changing every day. Allow yourself to gently open those eyes if they were closed. And we'll get ready to move to the other side. All right, let those feet be about hip distance apart. Inhale, reach those arms out to the sides and above. We're going to exhale, come back to chair, bend those knees, reach the arms forward. Again, doesn't have to be the lowest chair or the deepest chair. It can just be a gentle squat. Take a breath in here, reach the fingertips forward, turn the palms towards each other. Exhale, arms down towards the ground, reach the arms back behind you, airplane. You're going to keep the movement in the arms at first. Inhale, arms down, and then pick yourself up, reach forward. 2 more times. Exhale, reach the fingertips towards the ground, reach them back. Inhale, arms forward, fingertips forward. Last time, if you want to bend those knees a little bit more, you're welcome to. Otherwise, stay where you are. And exhale those arms forward, down, towards the ground and back. Inhale, arms down, forward, and stand yourself up. Look up, reach up, straighten up. And then shimmy down, right? Shake it out. 1 more breath in here. Exhale, forward fold. Hi, Papa. That's fine. Come halfway up. Let the head reach forward, the hips reach back. And then forward fold. Guest appearance by Matza. Yeah. All right, we're going to start to bend the knees. And this time we're going to take the left leg and we're going to step it back behind us. Maybe it stays long and tall at first in that lunge. Maybe you drop that left knee in the top, or excuse me, right knee. Sorry about that. Right knee Top of the right foot comes down. Make your way into that low lunge. What feels good? I'll model. Again, you can keep your legs closer together. Or if body needs some space or you feel off balance, walk that foot gently over towards the left side instead. Right, find any movement that feels good here. Maybe it's swaying from side to side or leaning forward and back. And then find yourself to stillness. Invitation, and it's only an invitation, only an option. You can walk those hands up your shin, up your leg, up your knee, and come to the standing low lunge. Here's that chance to notice you need a little bit more space, in which case you walk that foot out towards the left and continue to lean forward. Here's an opportunity to add in some strength or additional strength, right? This is already working. You can reach those arms out towards the side and reach them up. So if you want to stay here, please do. If you want to add on a little bit more, take a breath in, reach the fingertips up, top of the head up. As you exhale, use your core, lower yourself at the top of the head and the fingertips reach forward. All right, push that foot into the mat. Inhale, pick yourself back up. Exhale, bend that body forward, reach forward, top of the head forward. One more time. Inhale, reach up, look up, push the foot into the ground. Good. Exhale, bend forward, reach forward. Inhale, come back to neutral and that low lunge. You can let those arms reach out towards the sides. You can give yourself some shakes or shimmies. This side of my body is asking for more rest, so I'm going to let the arms come down. Right? Shoulders are tight today. All right, and then we're going to take ourselves from this standing low lunge into a place where we allow for those hands to find the ground on the left side, the right side, excuse me, of the right foot. Maybe the fingertips point forward. Maybe they kind of turn a little bit towards the right instead. And you can let that left knee continue to bend forward, point forward. Oh, my hips need some love. And knowing that, hey, if you have those moments like I do where you say, oh, I need to stretch more, I should stretch more, right? This is really tight, it didn't used to be tight. Any of those kind of critical thoughts, know that it's okay, right? We can hold space for how those thoughts show up and how our minds show up. It's also okay to pause and breathe into this moment and say, hey, I'm doing something right now, right? Express some acknowledgement towards yourself for how you're showing up. All right, you can keep that left foot, my belly. You can keep the left foot reaching forward, hi baby. Or you can turn the toes a little bit. I'm sorry, you can keep the foot reaching forward. Or you can walk the foot a little bit over towards the left. Keep the knee pointing forward. If the ground feels really far and you don't want to have your whole palm down, then come up onto your fingertips, right? Or you can place blocks or anything underneath your hands. One more option here, if you'd like, instead of having the knee point forward, you can start to open it out towards the left side. The inside of that foot comes up. So lucky us, you got to meet all three of the animals. Give yourself a few more breaths here, wherever you are, wherever you want. If the inside of that foot has come off the mat, if you're giving yourself that little extra stretch, start to let that foot come back down. Whew. Walk the foot back to neutral towards yourself and walk the hand so that you can frame that foot once more. All right, here's that invitation to make it funky, and that's okay, right? You can drag that foot and drag that leg back behind you or off to the side. You can end up in child's pose with your hips reaching back. Or you can take yourself into down dog with your toes on the ground, maybe your heels on the ground, and your hips up, looking back. I want to invite us to know that any and all of those things are okay. Maybe you give yourself any kind of gentle movement in between. Turning the head from side to side. Good. If you're in down dog, go ahead and let those knees come down towards the ground, or just meet us in tabletop. We're going to come to a seated posture, a seated position, and the ways that work for us in our bodies and our space. So be mindful of what's around you. And then move those hips, move the big parts out of the way and move the hips down. And just find yourself in a seat. Woo. Turn the fan off. Got a little warm in here. All right. So let's come back to where we were with having the knees pointing up towards the ceiling. The feet were wide and the feet were in front of us. Let the hands come down towards the hips. Fingertips can point away from us and lean the weight into the palms. Nice and slowly allow those knees to sway gently from side to side. Noticing any changes we might feel. How's our hips doing now? How's the low back? Right, it's okay if nothing's changed. And if it's okay if we can't pick up on anything in particular. Can we tune into our breath? And allow for the knees to pause, bending over towards the right. Sorry, y'all, my fur babies are really into this today. We can let our knees towards the left. We can let the right hand come to the outside of that knee one more time. If it feels okay, push that knee towards the ground or push away from you as you lean the spine back. Giving yourself 3 more breaths. Good. Let the hand come on back behind you and gently take those knees over towards the other side. Let the knees point towards the right. This time you can take your left hand, only an option of course, left hand to the outside of that knee. Maybe gently push it down. If you notice those shoulders hiking up, try to lower the shoulders back down, right? We don't need that tension right now. For 1 more breath. Go ahead and let the hand come back down, knees point up towards the ceiling, and then extend those legs out wide into a wide-legged forward fold. You can swivel the body from side to side, allow for those toes to point up towards the ceiling. It's also okay to notice if flexibility has changed or is changing, right? Meet the body today, not so much the mind. You can let those hands come down towards the ground. Maybe tuck the chin towards the chest and just continue to walk those hands forward. To the place where you feel some sensation, where you feel some stretch. Noticing if shoulders hiked up, try to ease them down. I'm going to allow for some swaying side to side from one palm, one arm towards the other. And then let's take both hands and walk them over towards the right side, right leg. You can have those hands on the inside of the leg. You can have one hand on each side. It's okay to have them on the ground. Maybe they reach the knee, the shin, the ankle, or beyond. Wherever they reach is okay. Just allow for yourself to feel some sensation or notice any sensation in the thigh. Maybe turn those toes instead of pointing them up towards the ceiling. Turn the toes a little bit towards the right. See if you can pick up on any sensations on the other parts of the hamstring, the back of the leg. Allow for those toes to come back to neutral, and let's walk ourselves over towards the left side, left leg. Again, hands can be on the inside of that leg. Maybe arms are framing the leg, one on each side. Maybe hands are on the knee, the shin, the ankle, or beyond. Try to pull those toes towards you or towards the ceiling. And if you'd like to explore different sensations, you can turn the toes instead of pointing up. Turn them gently towards the left, only if it feels okay for the body today. I'd really allow for those toes to come back to neutral and walk those hands back in towards yourself. You can bend those knees and pull them in towards you. And if you'd like, you can make your way to lying down. We'll just be in our resting pose for a few moments. I have no special way of getting there. I just kind of walk my hands down, let my upper body come down, and eventually rest my head. I told you I used to be a ballerina, but I'm not anymore. I used to do gymnastics and ballet. I don't do those things anymore. No longer graceful. Maybe pull those knees in towards the belly or the chest. Allow the hands to touch shins. Stretch out that low back. Give yourself any gentle movement. Maybe it's swaying the knees from side to side, or some gentle circles. If you feel like taking any extra postures or stretches, please do. Otherwise, I encourage you to meet yourself and us in your final resting pose, your Shavasana. Maybe that's letting the legs be long, arms come down by your side. Maybe it's having your knees bent towards the ceiling and then opening the knees out towards the side, bottom of the feet towards each other. Or it's some other variation that feels good for you, feels neutral, or just enough. Allow yourself with one inhale to breathe in and scrunch every part of your body. Right? Pull your hands into fists, scrunch your toes, scrunch your face, all the tension you can. And then as you exhale, let it all go. Release the stress from the toes, from the hands, let the eyebrows relax. Let the tongue release from the roof of the mouth. And come home to your practice, come home to your body and your mat. Letting the breath go, however it can. There's no need to control the inhales or the exhales. There's no need to control how the body's showing up. Let it come and go. And then when you're ready, you can keep the hands on the ground, or you can bring them to your legs, to your thighs, and maybe to your belly if that feels safe, if that feels supportive. With your next inhale, just send yourself some gratitude for how you're able to show up for yourself, for others. And send yourself some gratitude for all the things your body's able to do, all the ways that it protects you, gets you through. And also send yourself some grace on that exhale. Maybe you've taken a couple of breaths now. It's okay. Send yourself some grace for the things that have changed, right? For the bodies, for the minds, the things that have shifted. Knowing that they're going to continue to shift, as are we all. That's okay. Your next inhale, reach those arms up overhead. Maybe reach the fingertips back behind you. There's space. Give yourself a full body, good day, good evening stretch. And then pull those knees into the belly, into the chest. Give yourself a hug, give yourself some love. Allow yourself to find one side of your body, doesn't matter which one. And then gently make your way back to a seated position in the ways that work for you, your body, and your space. Thank you so much, you all. Take good care, and I appreciate how you were able to show up today.